Life is a spectator sport. You either in the arena as a spectator or you're there for the spectators to watch. That's the basis and premise of most people and in their life. Sometimes we wonder that we want to get to a certain position, but we can't get there because we're too busy spectating and watching what other people are doing, and we ain't doing nothing. So either you gonna do something or you not gonna do something. But don't complain when you could have chose to take action and change the outcome, change the results for your life, your path, because you didn't take action. We have to open up our eyes and look at that arena or any coliseum or any place that you go and you are a spectator, even if it's from the television or from your phone. You're looking at people do something. You may, inspire or be inspired by what they're doing and want to do it, but you're not doing nothing to get you to that point. You have to open up your mind and take action, conquer that fear. And believe me, fear is probably the one thing that holds people back the most next to people pleasing. I understand both because I've tried to do both, and fear did hold me back for a period of time with certain things. But now I live in a manner where it's, you know what, it is what it is. I don't care what other people think anymore. You may like me, you can hate me. Either way, I'm going to still do me. You may not like the moves I'm making. You may not, it don't matter how close you are to me. It's more of, can you support it? Or if not, just be quiet. Everyone's path is so different that we try to influence others' decisions. And we may not fully understand that person's decision and think that, hey, you know what? If I can influence them this way or influence them that way, it'll turn out the way that I'm happy with. At the end of the day, if you're a friend, if you're a spouse, if you're a relative, if you come to me and you say, hey, this is what I'm wanting to do, go do it. Go do it. Take action. Be an action taker. My best friend told me years ago, he said, man, Kevin, the one thing I know to be true about you, you'll go to the cliff and it'll be right there in front of you, knowing that you got this pot of gold or whatever that you're desiring is right on the other side of that cliff. All you have to do is jump and get it. You ain't going to jump. Somebody got to push you. Truer words have never been spoken to me. And when you have someone in your corner that'll hold you accountable, that'll push you, you need that to also help conquer that fear, because once you conquer that fear and see what you feared turn to fruition, your mindset will shift. It will change. Like, you know what? I can do anything. I can conquer anything. But the fear pieces will hold us back. It's just like those that have left the job, started a business. Now this business is the only way that they get income. That's a huge fear, especially if you got a mortgage, you got a young family, you got wife, you got, young children, you got to put food on the table, you got bills. That's a hell of a fear. And not everyone is conditioned to take that leap of faith. I'm not 100% there yet. But, yeah, when you're in the arena, man, you're being entertained. In that arena, I'm saying, basketball or football, but it's any form of entertainment. You're either being entertained or you're the entertainer. It's no different than being a spectator. Anytime you watching people do things and it can inspire you, whether good or bad, but you're on the consumer end of it, you're on the wrong end. When you look at things from the aspect of what can I do with that to change my financial outcome, I would challenge you to focus on that, because you never know. You never know what things will turn out to be, how they'll turn out to be. A lot of times we seek and go after things and it's just not the time. But everything will come in due time. So don't be a spectator. Get out there, do something. You see people taking action, do something. You want to take action with something, do it. take steps. If you can't just jump right into it, take steps. It's like working out. If you haven't been to the gym in a minute, you don't just go in there full throttle. You're already going to be sore the next day. So, just lighten the load. Life is the same way. We have to slowly introduce certain aspects. Now, once we are conditioned for it, now we keep pushing. Now we go a little harder. Now we challenge ourselves. Everything that you want to learn or the keys to life is right in front of you. You see it on a daily basis. Now, whether you choose to act on it, that's something totally different. I feel as though being a spectator or being an entertainer of some sort, there's a lot of people that look at you and they're consuming whatever it is that you're doing. And you're getting the benefit of the monetary side of it. They're getting the benefit of the entertainment side of it, being distracted, being totally distracted to what's going on around them. Sometimes you got to open your eyes up. So today I just wanted to jump into that because I feel like there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of spectators, and there's a lot of entertainers that are capitalizing off of these spectators. And we're in a different place that I can't say that we've ever been in this place as a society. I won't say a community or an economy. I'll say as a society. We are in a totally different spot. And because of that spot that we're in is shedding light on the weaknesses in the infrastructure within the communities and the society in this country. And for me, it's been eye-opening because you see people, they're going through things, and everybody going through things. Everybody is experiencing different things. Everybody want better outcomes than what they're dealing with. But the one thing that we are constantly doing is we're making sure that we're entertained. We got all these subscription services. We're on all these different social media apps. You could do the same if you choose to. When I decided that I was going to start a podcast, I said, well, in the beginning, for me, it's going to be audio only because I actually like the audio only version. It adds a certain dynamic to everything because as a child listening to the radio station, you never saw the radio host. You didn't know what they looked like. You just knew them by voice. And if you ever saw them in public, you didn't know who they were until they started talking. To me, it adds a different level of curiosity into a person and what they're doing. So therefore, when I decided to do this, and eventually I may get through the video side of it, but long story short, just getting into the arena aspect, life being a spectator sport, how you going to pursue? Do you want to be an entertainer or do you want to be entertained? Because if you're the entertainer, hopefully you putting out good content, good product, and people want it, people like it, and you're able to have a monetary value there. But if you're a spectator being entertained, you're not, you may gain some things, but you're leaving a lot of meat on the bone. You're leaving a lot of stuff on the table that you could really do better with. But for certain reasons, some people, they're okay with that, and I'm okay with that too, because everyone can't be a boss. They're going to have to be some workers, but you got, just look at society right now. And it's November 2025. You have AI taking over like crazy. You have Grubhub that has robots that deliver food. You have, in certain cities, self-driving cars that I'm sure they're testing it in some markets with Uber. You order a vehicle and there's not a person that shows up in the vehicle, but the vehicle shows up. Like, we're being replaced with a lot. The human aspect is being replaced with a lot. ChatGPT, it's a great service. A lot of the AI services are great, but look at the detrimental aspect that it leads into, right? So I started off this saying being a spectator, being entertained. You're either going to be an entertainer or you're going to be entertained. So the other piece of that is I lost my thought for a quick second, but the other piece of that is the feel and the house. All right. Follow me for a minute on this one. Now, just think about it. And I'm going to reference this as you can look at it as like slavery. You got the feel and you got the house. If you take it to today's aspect, you have business. You have what they call white collar work. White collar workers tend to work in an office building, have an office. They don't get dirty. They're not in the elements. When it's hot outside, they're in the air conditioning. When it's cool outside, they're in the heat. They don't get dirty. They don't get wet. They're clean. The bulk of their work has a strong emphasis on what they can do on the computer within systems, different applications like Microsoft or an Excel or a PowerPoint. The feel is where most of your labor-intensive skills and trades reside. Your plumbers, your welders, your electricians, your HVAC techs, your carpentries, your masonry, shovels, power tools, weed eaters. Them guys and women are in the field. The way AI is going right now, the way I see it, the way I look at things, I see a lot of people that's in the house that's either going to end up in the field, forced, or they just going to be hurting because the house is going to shrink. It's going to get smaller. We don't need all these people in the house. And the demand for the people in the field is going to skyrocket. So like right now, you have people that don't make a lot of money and they in the field. Just based on the concept I just gave, they're considered field for this conversation. They're considered in the field. They make significantly less than those in the house. But if AI is replacing people in the house, if I got, 1,000 people in the house and AI can do the work of 900 and now that leaves me with 100, them people in the field are going to be more valuable. So therefore, they're going to be compensated as such for retention purposes. This is the world that we are living in. And I think it's going to be a storm that comes and it's going to be gradual in some markets and it's going to be major in other markets. We already see it hitting like the major markets as far as big companies, big corporations that are already doing mass layoffs because they're having these huge implications of AI technology. And that's business. Some people don't like it. And of course, the people affected by it don't like it. But you can't say you didn't see it coming. It's no different than when you go and work for a company and you have a complaint about that company. The only thing you really could do is leave that company and go work for another company because we're playing by their rules. That company rules no different than the U.S. government or the U.S. dollar or the banking system. We're playing by their rules. We all got a debit card or a credit card of some sort. Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, whatever company you use, you're using their access for your money, but you have to play by their rules. You bank with this bank and you go to another bank to make a withdrawal from the ATM. It's going to cost you some money depending on the bank to get your money. That's part of the rules. The U.S. dollar, as long as it says whatever that numerical value is on that dollar bill and it says Federal Reserve, it's worth what it says because they say it. You can't show up to the store with a $10 bill and says, well, I'm going to use this as 100 today. That's a $100 bill. It don't work like that. There's rules of the game, rules we got to play by, rules in life. It goes back to entertaining or being entertained. It goes back to the house. It goes back to the field. Those people that know how to work with their hands and whatever skills and trades that they have requires their hands and whatever they could do from a body composition aspect, they're gonna be more valuable than the people that's in the house that don't want to get dirty, that don't want to be in the weather, that want to be clean, and they don't have letters behind their names. That's where we're at. So just talking about this and just, generalizing everything, I hope that y'all able to follow me and just really think like, damn, this is what it is. This is one of the things, like when we watch movies, right? You look at movies and you see technology on movies and you're like, man, that'll never happen. And then you look up 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, you see that same technology in real time. The Google glasses, the special glasses. I think Ray-Ban makes them now and some other companies make them. But I remember first seeing that on a movie. I remember first seeing VR goggles on a movie. I think it was Demolition Man from the early 90s. That's 20 plus years ago, but now that technology is here today. Same thing with tablets, same thing with cell phones and video calls, self-driving vehicles. You go to other countries, you have self-piloting crafts. It's so vastly different. And when you go to different parts of this country or different parts of the world, you see things differently. And I advise anyone to get out of that shell of, I don't want to travel. If you have the opportunity to leave the country, because when you come back here, you'll realize how good you got it. And there's some places within this country that they're behind the time. They don't want technology to grow and take over and all that, and I understand. But it's reflective on the society in which they live. Now, I won't specify what areas I'm talking about, but they're definitely in the South. There's some southern areas it hadn't advanced much past, I would say, the 60s and 70s. They might have new buildings and new structures, but, people are still oppressed to a degree, depressed to a degree, suppressed to a degree. You move further north or West Coast, East Coast, you see different things too, and it opens your eyes up. Like I said, when I first saw a robot delivering food for Grubhub, it's like, wow. Now I get it. That's not in every market, every city, but it's happening. It's happening, and we have to be privy and understand what else is to follow, what else is coming, because a lot of jobs that's in that house, like I said, they ain't gonna be needed. A lot of that field work, the farmers, the butchers, the people that supply the food industries, they're gonna be needed more. You got certain places that you go to now and they have kiosks for your food. Soon it's gonna be robots that's bringing you your food. Soon it's gonna be a robotic technology that's making your coffee. It's you gotta open your eyes, man. It's one of the things that just in talking that I sit there and I have conversations with myself and I discuss with myself that, hey, it's the world that we living in and how far technology has gotten and how far things are going. It's wow. And I hope that everyone is able to come out on the best side of it as possible. Don't be comfortable being a spectator. Don't be comfortable being entertained. If you have to do that for a period of time so you can learn something, that's cool. It's cool to look and spectate and be entertained if you're trying to learn something. Not so much the entertainment piece, but spectating, like shadowing someone that does something that you want to do, or just learning. Whether that's YouTube or whatever channel you decide that you want to learn things from. But don't get too comfortable not doing nothing. And don't get comfortable being entertained, because as long as you're entertained, you're distracted from every real scenario that's going on and being played out in front of you in real time. You're not seeing it because you're distracted. Be observant, be cognizant of everything around you. See what you can do to help your path, your journey, your family. And, write a list down of things that you would want to do, and then do them one by one. Or the one that you don't want to do or you fear doing the most, how can you chip away at that? How long it's going to take you to get to the point that when you do it, you enjoy doing it and it has a value. Me doing this, talking on this mic, the value for me is, I feel like it's purpose. I'm not doing it for any money. If money comes, that's cool, but I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I feel like it's going to help someone else. I feel like it's going to be beneficial to other people. Eventually, I'm going to start having conversations with other people, and we're going to dive deep into a lot of topics. But right now, I'm on my journey. I'm on my purpose journey. I've had this equipment for, I would say, probably a month, and I recorded, and I was hesitant to really publish anything because I'm overthinking in my head. What if it sound like this? What if it sound like that? What if it's not perceived? Nah, kill all that. That's part of fear that you got to kill, and that bird got to die. You got to put that bird on the table. Put him on some gravy and a bed of rice. That's how we talk where I'm from. You understand? So that's me conquering my fear. I'm not caring what other people think. I'm not caring what other people say, because this is going to be beneficial to someone. This is going to make someone's day. This is going to give someone a positive vibe, a positive energy that they say, you know what, man, I like that. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to keep on to that. We have to conquer that fear. We have to not overthink perception and get out of that people-pleasing spirit of, I want to make sure this one is happy. I want to make sure that one is happy. Nah, I just want to make sure I'm good and I'm taking care of the things that I need to take care of. And then I'm able to deliver certain things to people that they can get something from. And then we look up and it's like, you know what, I like that dude. And for me, it's more of ministry. If I had to sum it up into one word, I would say ministry. I'm not doing it with an intended purpose. I'm doing it intentionally to help people. Or that is my intent, help. That's my purpose. So I'm going to keep doing it. This will probably be the first one I release, and then there's going to be some more behind it. But as I sharpen that steel, I hope that y'all stay there and sharpen that steel with me as well. And we keep it moving just like that. So with that, this will be the introduction to the Principles Podcast. I'm the host. I'm Kevin Brown. And I appreciate y'all listening. Stay tuned for the next one. For this one, just remember the arena. The arena, being entertained, entertaining, being a spectator. All right? Just remember those key points that we talked on, because I feel like you can change your outcome on everything if you remember those points, because the house and the field are real places. And if you're in the house, you need to know how to do some things in the field. And if you're in the field, you need to know how to do some things in the house. It raises your personal stock. It'll help your value if you're working for someone else, because the way things are going, you have to be mindful. Again, I appreciate y'all checking me out, man. Thank you. 1.